Look, the Chicago Bears are just dealt multiple curveballs, and let's look at the first one here, and it's actually being thrown at them. The Bears are having tryouts in the secondary, and these tryouts, they're expected to bring probably 3 new players to this team. Cornerback Caleb Hayes, Mekhi Garner, and they're also slated to join safety Mark Perry. Of course, this is due to injuries. That's one curveball that's thrown the Bears' way. More on that a little later in this video. But with that, here's another curveball. But this is being thrown by the Bears at opposing defenses this season. And look, wide receiver 1, he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. The player I'm talking about is DJ Moore. Do you remember that story about him that he was taking some backfield snaps? It looks like it's going to be way more than a novelty practice thing. Bears receiver DJ Moore, he's going to be used out of the backfield this season. I think it's going to be extensive. Ben Johnson, he's been candid about that fact in press conferences and practices. He's lined up more as a running back in practice sessions open to the public. He's being really open about this. Now, DJ Moore isn't ready to call himself a running back, but he has been in a meeting. He has been in a solo session with position coach Eric Bieniemy. He's a running backs coach. Man, how stacked is this coaching staff? But he doesn't mind lining up in the backfield at all. And that's a role that the Bears have definitely been not only tinkering with in practice, but all things are pointing towards that this is going to be a really creative way to get their number 1 wide receiver the ball. And that means he's also got to learn pass concepts for both wideouts and running backs. And now he's been talking about how extensive this has been and how he's preparing for that. But this is from a press conference a couple weeks ago from Ben Johnson. We're exploring some things. I think what I've seen on tape and what I've come to learn about DJ, it's that he's physical. He's a run after catch guy. Just get me the ball type of guy. So whether that's in the backfield, whether that's screens, I think he had a nice go route the other day. There's a number of things that we're looking to do and explore on how do we get him the ball? How do we get him in space? We're tinkering with that a little bit. And yesterday, you saw he's really receptive to it. So let's kind of look at this a little more closely. How much responsibility is DJ Moore going to have in the backfield? How far is this going to go? I mean, it's kind of unknown right now. But guys, this could be something like Deebo Samuel. This could be something like Deebo Samuel's situation back in 2021. And that's when the 49ers skill player, he had 59 carries that year. I mean, it also could be a novelty act. This could be just a practice thing. But everything that we're looking at, it looks like it's going to be more extensive. Right now, it's just being sprinkled in as a change of pace. And the Bears are definitely exploring the concept. Once again, they had more sit down with extensive time with running backs coach Eric Bieniemy, really giving him more instruction at the position. Now, when you have a player who excels in yak yardage, this really makes sense, right? You're looking at Moore ranking 5th in the league in yards after catch, 3rd among wide receivers, with 588 yak yards last year. And in 23, he ranked 11th in yards after the catch. This guy's just so elusive in the open field. He makes defenses play. He makes defenses pay, excuse me, if they don't get him at the catch point and just let him open up the field. So, kind of also looking back on his rookie season in Carolina, he had 13 rushing attempts for 172 yards. That's good for more than 13 yards per attempt. And throughout his career, his numbers rushing the football, 431 yards. That's extensive. 57 attempts. And that breaks down to roughly 7.5 yards per attempt. Any running backs coach like Eric Bieniemy would gladly take those numbers. So when Moore was just interviewed, he couldn't really tell reporters when that subject was actually brought up. But he did recognize that it adds a lot more volume to his role in this new scheme. And this scheme is still being installed. This scheme is completely new and exotic to most of these players. And I think getting the ball in DJ Moore's hands is a huge priority. And running back in this offense, it comes with a lot of schematic load. It's going to involve him learning 3 receiver spots. He's got to learn all 3. And the Bears are going to move him around the formation for that so they can create mismatches. They can give him touches in space that Ben Johnson talks about that he values so much and also really promotes in this offense. Let's just hear it straight from Moore. And this is Moore in Monday's press conference yesterday. I was just like, go ahead, add it all onto the plate now. Just be an athlete at this point and I have to learn it all. That's what I'm doing. I mean, physical demands are one thing. This process of learning running back as well, that's going to be really demanding of him. And the good thing is that the concept of taking handoffs, it's nothing new for DJ Moore. Once again, he has 14 carries last year, 13 as a rookie in Carolina. He can definitely do it. And I think it's got to be a huge priority to get him the ball in space because he's good at it. If he can run instinctually, if he's in the open field, if he can be not only a receiver, but a receiver in the backfield, that role, he could be a true rusher from time to time and really be that jackknife as Luther Burden kind of grows into his role as well. He looked really good in that last preseason game, but I can't say that he's already there. So much of that athletic talent is baked into him, but it's also baked into DJ Moore. So he's getting to the point that he's got to understand his responsibilities. He's got to understand the current task within this offense. Coaches are just going to figure out how to use him effectively. So a little more on Moore. I just break it up in the different parts. You've got a receiving part. You've got the running back part. And then you've got the whole concept part. It's daunting, but I get paid the big bucks to do it, so why not? I mean, he's absolutely right. It is nuts how much these players earn, isn't it? Moore signed a 4-year, $110 million extension before last season, then averaged 24 fewer receiving yards per game with Caleb Williams at QB than he did with Justin Fields. So that was a little bit of a drop-off. Guys, I don't think there's going to be a drop-off. It might not be reflected in the numbers, but I think this offense is really going to cook with DJ Moore as WR1. This is here from offensive coordinator Declan Doyle. He just spoke. DJ Moore is one of those guys that you really love when the ball is in his hands. Just trying to find ways to be creative about how we do that, trying to get him touches in every way we can. He's a very natural back there. He has good vision. It's one of those things that we will test it and mess with it a little bit. We'll see where it goes. I mean, the Bears are trying it out a ton in camp. They're seeing what works. I'm sure they're going to drop concepts that don't work. But there's just really no indication of how much time he's going to spend in the backfield right now. I think that's totally fair. He's got to absorb the schematics of this whole offense. He's got to execute every play as called. And I think he's got to be ready to bounce anywhere on the field. Once again, he's going to have to learn all 3 wide receiver roles. Sounds like he's learning running back, at least the gist of running back. I don't know if he's going to learn any blocking schemes at running back, but yeah. He also said he hasn't studied Deebo Samuel. He hasn't studied anybody. He just prefers to absorb the playbook. So a little more from Moore. I feel comfortable. Like I said, just be an athlete at this point. You do it all and you attack it. Now, granted, this could roll it differently. Maybe this video is all hyperbole. I don't think it is. I think as we continue to love how Johnson is putting this playbook together, I think we're going to be really happy with what we see. I think we're going to be really happy when this gets to full octane. And man, we've got the players to do this, and I'm really excited about this. A little bit about our tryouts here. You're looking at 34 Bears. Most of these guys are guys that played a few or no snaps on Sunday. They practiced for about 70 minutes the day after the game. And Doyle said that head coach Sean Payton, he's a guy who he worked with the Saints and the Broncos. Man, it's crazy how quickly Doyle has jumped up the coaching totem pole. It's crazy. But Sean Payton, he liked to practice the day after preseason games. And Payton got that idea from his mentor, Bill Parcells. And that's another thing that I love about this team. They are definitely going back to old school coaching. Let's look at the tryouts here today. Cornerbacks Jalen Johnson, Terrell Smith came out of the game hurt. The Bears ended up working out 8 defensive backs. Kalen Barnes, Millard Bradford, Mekhi Gardner, he's likely going to be the choice. Caleb Hayes, Kenny H. Lovely, oh, that's a fun name. Mark Perry, Benny Sapp, Jason Taylor. So a little bit about this. Josh Blackwell, we knew something was going on with Josh Blackwell, we were surprised to see him on the field at the end of the preseason game with the Dolphins. He was actually surprised to see himself on the field. And that's even after Kyler Gordon having a minor hamstring injury. Other starters out. This is straight from Blackwell. He didn't expect to close out the game. We didn't have anyone left. I was just watching him, and it was like boom, boom, boom. Everybody else but me, Jeremiah Walker and Trey Flowers were out or done playing on a rep count, a snap count. Everybody. So here we go. So the Bears, they're addressing this thinning cornerback rank. Safety Mark Perry, Mekhi Gardner, Caleb Hayes are likely going to be the guys that receive contracts here. And the team's going to return to work tomorrow. So all three potential additions. None of these guys have huge experience. That's probably good news. It could mean the team isn't overly concerned that many of the injuries that they have are going to carry into the season. If the Bears are bringing in more experienced options, more veteran options, I think I'd be a little more frightened or scared about this. But, yeah, we need our number one corner, Jalen Johnson. He's missed all of training camp with that leg injury. His availability for week 1, the Bears are speaking optimistically about. But, of course, it's not guaranteed. So you've got Gordon. You've got Nick McLeod out. Amir Speed. Zay Frazier, he's out for personal reasons. They all missed the Dolphins game. And as I already talked about, Terrell Smith, he left the game with a growing injury. That led to Blackwell getting all that game time. Speed was waived on he was injured Monday. That was to make room for running back Britton Brown. Britton Brown, it's not like a huge thing. I'm not even going to cover it. It's kind of a blip. It's a camp body. But if you look at Garner specifically, he played 3 games for the Philadelphia Eagles in 23. Hayes and Perry, they've each been with 4 NFL teams. They haven't appeared in a regular season game yet. So you can react, oh my goodness, 8 players. What do? They're coming in for tryouts. We didn't sign anyone significant. That means that the Bears brass believes that we're going to be A-okay in the secondary. Keep a look out on that Terrell Smith growing injury. That's the only one that really doesn't sound good to me. You guys, as always, let me know in the comments what you'd like to hear about. Appreciate you always being here day after day after day. I'll continue to be here day after day after day, giving you an insider's view on your Chicago Bears. Bear down. Continue to enjoy the preseason. We've got another game coming up before you know it. See ya.